Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Free Agents Podcast. Back again today to talk some more Traitors Season 4, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. We've already done our recap, our in-depth recap of these 3 episodes, but we have a fun podcast for you today where we're going to be talking to a really fun special guest. And by the way, we're also here on YouTube. So if you're just listening to this on the podcast feed, hop over to the Free Agents Podcast on YouTube and check the video version out. But of course, I'm Matt here first with Brian Scally. Scally, what's up?
Ooh, hello. I'm so good. I'm very excited to be back here, but especially because, as you said, very fun guest, very fun person, and someone with a little bit of experience playing this game.
Just a little bit. Yeah, somebody who just recently, this past winter, you could have seen him on a different version of the Traitors Canada. So very excited to get into everything here today with him. It's Omar Zaheer. Omar, what's up?
Hello. The theme of Traitors this year is Rob Kings, right?
It is. It
Very
really,
much so.
really is. 2 in this episode, a couple on your season. It's tough out here.
Yeah. You know what? They banished me idiotically and they murdered Rob. Kind of smartly, but like idiotically for us, you know?
I mean, just to get like right into it, that was the question that we were talking about on our episode recap. What kind of way would you have most wanted to go out? How you did, or would you?
Oh, definitely banished, then over murdered.
Okay.
But the way I went out was actually, you know what? The way Rob and I went out, best possible case scenario if you're going to lose, because Rob was right and I was right. So if you're good, and I had the Annabelle treatment, so that is the best way to go out when they're clearly so fucking stupid. And he went out because he was right and smart. So there you go.
Yeah, I think as far as murders go, it's one of the more satisfying ones of if you're going to go on a murder. But yeah, we had been arguing a little bit back and forth where Liguori was like, this is maybe one of the better case scenarios, and I had said, no, I want my boys to get their chance to get their final words in, go out on a banishment. So
it just feels so frustrating to like imagine, and Omar, you can speak to this, of like no one's listening to me, and I would just be frustrated. I was frustrated for you. I would be frustrated for Rob or whoever else is in that situation. So I'd rather just save myself that, but also no elimination is fun in a game like this that looks like it's so fun to play. So that's tough.
I didn't like this murder in plain sight though. It's kind of boring. No? Like you need to actually interact with them, like taking the cards and burning it. Who gives a shit?
Plain sight aspect, I guess, a little bit fulfilled as far as we're out in the open, but no,
it was too easy.
That's why Rob was so confused.
I think that people think it's more exciting because it's different, and by people maybe I mean producers. Like, okay, it's different, and like they have to sneak around, but like I'm here for more of the like social, strategic, etc. And I think that getting the Traitors like talk in the turret is much more interesting and lets us in so much more on what's actually going on in the season. As we said, I don't know that the like basically one and only discussion of who to murder really gave us like the absolute most this time, but like give me the chance. If someone really interesting goes home, or if there is some like big huge argument that could have happened because Candace wanted to save Rob and someone else wanted someone else murder, like did want to murder Rob, then like we were completely robbed of that because it's just like, oh, and it happened and it's over.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know if it's different on the US version, but your post or like the bedtime time to do stuff is very short. So, I think it really put into context how difficult it actually is to do. But that one was easy. So whatever.
I am pretty giggly still when they do the walking up the staircase as if they still go to bed at the castle when we know that's not the case.
Traitors Canada, you
do sleep at the castle. Is it a castle?
Really? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, it's like a wedding venue, so there's like an offshoot where you go for your sleepy time.
Are the beds like, I mean, obviously if they're in the same building, but like are they like really close by the rest of the area, or?
I would liken it to like a school,
Okay.
Like it's like one part of the school.
I mean, famously, I feel like it's a fun concept to, have a sleepover at your school. So I feel like that probably was fun.
Yeah, except you're not allowed to leave the room.
Yeah. Famously, sleepovers locked in a room individually with no communication.
Seemed like a lot of
famously
fun.
not
Yeah.
allowed to play music or bang on the walls to make other people know you're there.
Well. Oh. Well, Omar, just generally though, first 3 episodes in the books. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Obviously, there's a good amount of emotion going around the community, especially our community right now. But what are you feeling?
Well, I think it's definitely mixed emotions. I think I will say, just to get it off the rip, if I didn't wasn't such a fan of Rob and Jam and Natalie, especially Rob, I would not watch this season because they cast a piece of shit on it. So that's and has been such a big part of the edit. And both of you, I love mess. I love crazy. I love big personality. I like idiotic loud voices, unless I'm the victim of it. But this is not a fun presence because that man should not have a platform. He's disgusting as a human being, a stain on humanity, and I don't want to support him in any way. But Rob is on the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to. But
Yeah.
I want it to be known that he's trash. So that part is bad. If I was just like not excited about the survivors who were on, and also Ian and Tiffany too, I would think this was kind of like not like I think season 3 was better and the kickoff of season 2 was better, but it has potential.
Do you know anybody in the Bravoverse? Are these Traitors doing anything for you? I mean, not that Love Island's Bravo,
I saw Lisa Rinna on the redacted show of The Celebrity Apprentice back in the day. I found her to be a little bit annoying, but I feel like her presence on the show was kind of fun. Like she's been good. She's been fine. And I think it's funny because she's like really thinking hard and trying to figure out the game, but saying the most obvious, basic 101 Traitors UK1 strategies. But you know what? When has she ever seen a reality show like this in her life? Good for her. I know. I feel like I've seen some clips of Caroline Stanberry, but I don't really know her very well. Yeah,
It's a random one.
I think it came on the Chanel Ion timeline because
maybe
is gold.
Yes,
I wish they had brought her back instead of
Dorinda. Yes.
We've talked also as possibilities. She should be on that list.
She should have been the one they brought back. Dorinda's boring. I'm sure she wasn't boring on her show, but she's boring here.
That's what I'm curious to see because I am currently binging Dorinda's first show, and she is very exciting there. But I know there is a drink limit, so
oh yeah, I was gonna say
the lack of martinis might be keeping it calm.
Is there a drink limit though? Because I am not an alcoholic. I have not even tasted alcohol. Although, breaking news, I accidentally ate pork 2 days ago.
Oh,
no bueno, farm boy, but mislabeling your products. But Dorinda, wait, where was I going with this? Why was I talking about her alcoholism? Oh no, there's not really a shortage. Like I feel like if I wanted to get drunk based on at least what the Canadians had, I probably could have gotten drunk. But I literally took a whole flask of Diet Pepsi and drank it all for the bit, and then peed all night. So I think it's possible.
Okay.
I feel like we're obviously going to, by the way, just to throw this disclaimer out, they're going to get into spoilers for the Traitors Canada, Omar's most recent season at the very least. So if you haven't seen that and you don't want those spoilers, come back or whatever, proceed with caution. Because I did want to get into this Traitors turret. The 3 that we start with is Candace, Lisa Rinna, and Rob Roush. The only comparison that I feel like I can draw from them to your Traitors from your season, it's really, I can narrow it down to Coco and Venus. And they had a pretty decent bit of loyalty to one another in the way that so far, these 3 seem like they're sticking by each other's side. So I don't know. Just to
Coco's name down.
Well, just wanted to get your perspective on the idea of that loyalty.
Yes, I feel like Candace is, in my opinion, is giving the most of these in terms of good TV. I just think, okay, this is the hard part because in the meta of this game, I was the victim of the meta of like, oh, there has to be somebody from every one of these reality shows. But it has become a problem in the whole franchise, is that now everybody thinks there's going to be a gamer. However, the problem is that there isn't one this time, which is good for the meta, but they often carry the turret.
Yeah.
So I think that there is something I feel missing from this one, which is why I'm not that upset when they don't go into their little meeting, because I don't really care what they have to say. But I think that Rob, as much as we hate him right now, seems a bit
Roush.
sociopathic. Yes. Rob R. A bit sociopathic, and that's going to be good TV, but it's like a slow burn, and there's not a lot of like, fire. So it's like you're kind of boring, to be honest. Like where is, especially coming off of Carolyn and Danielle and Boston Rob and Bob the drag queen, this is not hitting as much, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous / interested to see how it's going to go, because I do agree. I think Rob Roush has the like highest capacity to like start backstabbing the other traders, start playing like a little bit of a dirty game, maybe be a little more strategic at times. And I think that the problem is the people that's going to be at the consequence of are the people who I am finding more entertaining in Candace and Lisa. So I'm not going to be super excited if all of a sudden we do get this low key like, yeah, and then like, there's only room for like one trader left. It's like, okay, well, I would have had, someone else screaming in the confessional about how they just got Rob out, and that would have been a lot more fun.
My excitement is coming in. Sorry, guys.
As a secret trader.
You would think. You would think. Yeah. My only, I guess, excitement or joy that I'm getting, like the most, I should say, that I'm getting out of Rob in the turret is the idea that Mora hopefully has a protector to keep her in the game as long as possible, because right now that duo seems like they are working pretty well together. I don't want her to get got by him, but if it means she goes through every episode of the season or just goes deep, then I'll be very happy. But Omar, just on that point you were just making, if there was going to be a gamer that was either in the turret or just a secret trader, do you have preferences that you would have wanted to see?
Before I do that, Moira, very funny. I don't know this person, but now I want to watch her show.
Yeah.
But she was it drama?
She's drama.
She is drama.
She is definitely drama. She is just, I'm going to always tell you what I'm thinking, always tell you what's on my mind. And of course, her accent is just perfect.
He very much feels like she's going to get played by him. But did she double flip off Donna Kelsey on the way out?
I did see this clip going around. It's so crazy because everyone's now like, what's the secret Donna Kelsey Mora beef? And I don't know if it was just her like, fuck you, traitor, but it was very enthusiastically as like, and I'm not
had to double
flip off the camera, but just like raising her fists in the air over and over.
It was absolutely insane. Why can't, and the Swifties are going to come after you? And with all due respect, I mean, I don't want to get hated on by the Swifties. Donna seems like a very nice lady, but that was not a good choice for her. I think she would have been better off as a faithful.
My question is also, we are now 48 plus hours after. Have the Swifties come for anybody on this cast so far?
Not that I've seen. Actually, the only thing I've seen is, I've seen like one or two Swiftie accounts being like, we're not watching the show.
Right. Like the Eras tour was on Disney Plus, I think. So like they're subscribed over there. They're not subscribed to Peacock. Yeah. We don't need to worry about them just like pressing play because it's available.
Like they showed up for one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers, like Jan, right, on Dancing with the Stars. And so like they showed up there. I don't think they're showing up for Mama Kelsey.
Yeah. And also, I don't know, Jan has more appeal than just his connection to Taylor Swift, I guess you could say. So yeah, but Omar, back to the question.
20% of that meant. As far as which gamer I think is going to be, would have been good. I think obviously Rob would have been really fun in the turret. However, I feel like he wanted to be a faithful. So if he doesn't want to do it, let's not make him. I think that I thought that Natalie was going to be the gamer trader. That was my idea, and I think she would have done really well. I think that her not being in there is a mistake. I think that Ian and Tiffany are a bit on the nose for the Big Brother traitor. However, maybe I'm fresh off of because I'm like have Canada so much in my mind where it's like all the fucking Big Brother people are with a fucking traitor. And then Jam Jam, I think, is better as a faithful because I think it's funny when he's trying to figure it out, you know? So I think that if I had to pick one, I think that Natalie was probably the best option.
And she seemed like she thought she was going to be, because you see like the moment that she realized it, or that she's not a traitor, that's when she goes to like a bunch of other people and she's like, look, now that I'm not a traitor, I'm playing the most aggressive faithful game that you've ever seen, and we're going to catch those motherfuckers. So she obviously wanted to be, but you know, she's still happy to play it in this way. Omar, any thoughts on Natalie and Jam Jam? As far as I can tell, not interacting, I don't know if they're not allied or if they're just not showing it to us. Nothing with these two. It's
also Jam Jam. Why are you throwing Rob under the bus? That was crazy.
Right? Rob was like, excuse me?
For what reason? And honestly, watching that interaction, I would have been sus of Rob because he was so caught off guard, because that's a crazy thing to do. What are you doing, Jamie? That was crazy. But because he's going so hard on Michael, I'll forgive him. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, they probably do have a relationship. I mean, they're 2 Survivor winners. But there's so many. I mean, what it probably means is it doesn't really like amount to anything between the two of them, whatever, for better or for worse. But I think there's so many relationships that they clearly don't care enough to show that one. Yeah. But I'm sure they would be dumb not to work together. I'm surprised a little bit that, you know, Tiffany has gone from we need to protect all the gamers to, and maybe it's because they started getting murdered that she's like, okay, well, I can't really trust Jam Jam anymore. Yeah. But turning on him so quickly was a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm not writing off that they could potentially have some type of relationship that we're not seeing. I think that we saw Monet connected to both Jam Jam and Natalie, so like there could very well be a little bit of a grouping there. But I do wish, obviously, as a fan of both Jam Jam and Natalie, that I got to watch that more closely.
Did Monet Exchange win the Influencer Survivor?
Oh, did she win? No, they didn't have a win.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
They got down. They did one vote, and then
they just do one vote? I didn't watch it either.
It was one vote, and then they were like, "That was the experience."
Yeah.
So I guess it was a 7-way tie. I think it was a woman.
I couldn't tell you anyone else that was there.
But no, I have no idea. Somebody that was like from the Mr. Beast team was also there, but I don't know.
Yeah, Carl.
I wanted to talk about Monet. Omar, any familiarity with Monet before this? Okay, well,
but Monet's a Survivor fan, so
very much so. So she knows you. You just don't know her, or her 3 seasons. That neither did Jam Jam know this, by the way. That was a very funny moment. Oh, I've watched both of your seasons. Oh, which one are you missing? But Scally, the fact that Monet is not grouped in with the gamers is crazy. I mean, like Drag Race is not grouped in with these other reality shows, but Monet might be like the biggest. I mean, maybe not actually, but like she is gamed. She has watched these games just as much as these gamers. So the fact that she's fully not included with that group is great for her.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think that the fact that other people aren't going to be looking at Monet as, okay, you know, her name comes up for the short list and it's not, oh, we have to get Monet out immediately because she's a gamer and she's going to be such a huge problem for us in the future. But she does have a lot of the strategic knowledge. She does have the knowledge of a lot of the other people on the show, is able to go up to them, form relationships very quickly by like, I know you have seen your season here. I love you, blah, blah, blah. So I think Monet is actually in a really great position and is able to connect with a very wide variety of people on this cast.
Yeah.
I hope that Monet breaks the drag queen curse, because they all go home early, and I think that Monet is going to be very fun. And I also have to say that I always am so stupid and always get thrown off when they go out of drag. Every fucking time, even in real life. Kitten Caboodle, I was like, oh, hey, Kitten. And then the next day we're getting briefed on what the game, how the game's going to work. And then I'm like, who is that person?
I mean,
they were not here yesterday.
There's an entire segment on any given season of Drag Race. Like in the first episode, everybody comes out in drag. They come into the workroom and they introduce themselves. And then they have a whole segment where they de-drag and you get to see them without everything on. And everyone's looking around like, who are these people? So You're not alone in that.
Even the fellow queens are like, I don't recognize anyone.
Right. Who are you again? Like,
yeah.
And sometimes I literally said this watching like the second episode this past week. I'm like, sometimes I still could use a lower third when they are in drag, like back on the runway, because they don't all keep the exact same look. But that's besides the point. Omar, we were just talking about breakfast and Jam Jam and Rob's interaction at that breakfast. One thing I wanted to ask you, now that you have the experience being in this game, how much of when people walk into the room, like, in my mind, I would feel like I would really lock in that time and think like when someone walks in the room that I have high suspicions on already, like in my mind, I would think that that's a really big time that I'm like furthering those suspicions of like, for example, when Candace walked in the room, I'm like, just because I would be so suspicious that Candace is a traitor because I know that she would be a good one. I feel like that would be a time that I'm thinking it now more than ever. Like, oh, she's not killed. She's got to be, you know, there's really good reason to think that.
Sure, that is what some people think. However, I don't think that factored in as much for at least for my game. I'm sure other people would think that way. Simply because I already kind of like felt like I had my short list of who I thought the traders were. And so, and the thing is, I think a lot of times when you do think like that, you are going to be susceptible to confirmation bias, regardless of what you think. If you think someone's a faithful, you're going to see the faithful signs. If you think someone's a traitor, you're going to think of traitor signs. And I think for me, I left midway through the game, but for me, I felt like the first 2/3 of this game is more removing people that are not useful to you and keeping people that you trust, especially if you can find a traitor angel. And so for me, I actually used more of the individual conversations and in terms of sussing who I felt was a traitor or wasn't. And then to me, it was kind of irrelevant if somebody I trust I thought might be. So that was going through more through my mind. But I will say that I find it's a lot easier to rule somebody out as a traitor as opposed to find out who is. And even just little things like watching the roundtable, I'm like, it's so clear Mora's not a traitor. You know, like
Tara Lipinski, like I'm just like,
yeah. In the moments where something happens, the reactions to that are very like Trash Bag announcing that he killed or like we made Ian pass away, which was also a crazy thing to say. But when he said that, then Mora looked like you could tell her reaction was genuine, like you're one of them, like and stuff like that. I feel like you can then cross people off your list.
Yeah, you can give Rob Rush a little credit, I guess, for that as well, because he also jumped right on that. He's like, "Oh, who we?" So a little bit of credit for
which
that.
I think is partially. I think that the partial. We will give Rob R some credit. He's not completely canceled, but also to be fair, the traders here they don't know about a trader, and I think that actually makes it easier for them to pretend to be a faithful because they're also doing an investigation of their own. They're not fully aware of what's going on. And so he's probably also like, maybe Michael is a traitor. And that's a genuine reaction that you can't fake. So I think that it's actually helpful for the traders to have that secret traitor and vice versa. It didn't play out for old Donna, but for her to be
that would Miss Donna's crazy enough. Old Donna, wow.
She's older than Rudy.
Everyone Miss Donna.
Rudy.
Well, okay. I did think it was funny. And I'm not commenting on like the fact that people do have work done on their face, but some of the housewives are not too far off from Donna's age, but you can't really tell. Well, I don't know if they're exactly as old, but it's like you can't tell because a lot of people get,
they're like 10 years
done.
Still, plastic surgery's gotten better though, because back in the day, when people would do stuff to their face, it's like you look like not even human, but like you also still look old. You just don't look like an old human. You look like an old alien. But now people actually do look. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like, when do I start Botox? I don't know.
We should all look into it.
It's on the table.
Omar, what about these Freudian slips? Am I saying that word right? Freudian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about trash bags, and he slips up, but obviously Portia is completely banished from the game because of a couple that she
multiple
has
times.
Yeah.
It's
Is that something
embarrassing.
that comes into play for you? Are you keeping an eye out for those when you're playing with other people, and obviously mostly the traders?
I think the thing about a slip up like that is just that I don't necessarily think you have to actively look for it. It's just so out of place and obvious when it happens that you're like, oh. And I will say it never happened while I was there. I was always kind of afraid that I would do something like that. Meredith did it, but I wasn't there anymore.
What'd
But
she
I
say?
think
Do you
that
know?
it was in
It was on
one
the
of the
show. I don't
episodes
remember
after I
exactly.
left,
Yeah.
and I didn't care anymore. But I think it was something. Yeah, I don't even remember. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But I think that watching Portia, part of me was like, and then she wasn't even that defensive about it. Like it was just kind of like lukewarm, but it happened so many times that part of me was like, did this diva housewife not want to be there? And so she's trying to like engineer a quit and like randomly, it's like, and then the first time she says something and nobody says anything to her, she's probably like, damn it, I have to do it again. And she did it 3 times. Like, that's crazy. And then when she confronted, it was almost like, whatever. So I'm like, did she sandbag this and find a genius way to leave so that she could go get a bigger bag somewhere else? I don't know.
That's interesting. I do believe I even heard that they may have pushed back Real Housewives of Atlanta filming for her. So maybe she was just, okay, let's get to filming Housewives.
Yeah. Wild.
It was to the point where, like, and I never really take these too seriously. It's fun to watch everyone kind of spin their wheels and just absolutely lose their mind over the fact that someone misspoke. But when she says it for like a third time, I truly was like, they didn't make 3 housewife traders, did they? Like, it started getting that convincing.
Yeah. And 2 was too many.
Yeah.
What Omar, you obviously played the game as a faithful. Would you have wanted to? I mean, I think I know the answer is yes. You would have wanted to play as a trader if you had the opportunity.
Oh yeah,
but
traders have fun.
Would you have been nervous about these kind of slip ups if you were a trader?
I think I would have been, but I definitely would have been nervous about it. But I think my strategy would have been to just pretend I was a faithful, and especially in the first, while you get your bearings, you actually don't know who the other traders are. So you can be a faithful, much like they can be for the secret trader, trying to figure it out. And that can give you enough cover. I think what will be harder is if you were a faithful and then have to switch to being a trader at some point, because your behavior will naturally change a little bit. And maybe people will pick up on that. But I wish I could have had that problem of worrying about it.
Because I want to make the comparison that's on everybody's minds. You and Lisa Rinna in the same category for me, where I thought that she was going to be a faithful, like I thought you were going to be a faithful, because I was like, producers don't need to make you or Lisa Rinna a trader in order to get good TV from these people. Like, they are going to do my lips either too? Way. Yeah, probably. But then they do go this route to make her a trader, and unfortunately, there's not enough spots to make everybody that could be a good and fun trader a good and fun trader. So you have to, pick and draw the line somewhere. But I think it would have been a lot of fun for you. And we're actually just getting to see her do this job where, again, I didn't think they were going to go this route, but it's proving to be just as chaotic as, you can expect from Lisa Rinna so far.
Nobody's ever compared me to Lisa Rinna, so I don't know.
Everyone's been thinking it.
Everybody's been thinking it.
Yeah.
I guess, I'll run with that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like Lisa Rinna would be more fun as a faithful in some ways. I think that, I don't know. I feel like, I think for me, it could have been gone either way. Like, the problem is, I would have loved to have been a chaotic. And you know what? In hindsight, I wish I had just been messier, because obviously it didn't matter with those idiots. I wish I had just been like, Jamal, you are not a faithful or a traitor. You're a dumb bitch. But I unleashed, the real GGD side. But
I was going to say, if you played more like you played in Clock Tower, I don't know how that would have been beneficial.
That would have been like Lisa and Meredith, so it would have been fine. But I think that, I was definitely more outspoken as a faithful, following, I think, the Natalie Anderson playbook here, because she's trying to be a good faithful, and being a good faithful is putting out all of your information, not being afraid to share your theories, X, Y, and Z. The problem is sometimes people are stupid. So even when Ron, who had very solid logic for going after, speaking of Ron, is he the least funniest comedian you've ever seen?
I'm struggling. I mean, I really like him, but he's struggling.
Is that his job?
He's not having fun.
No, he is not having fun, and he does not seem funny. I'll have to go see his other
But he
work.
ended the episode with a good moment, like a really good moment. He got the title of the episode, like screaming out into the void, like, "You better kill me, show me your faces." Like, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, but it wasn't funny. You know, that's like that's not a bit. I don't know what this guy's doing, but he had solid logic going after Portia. But then people are like, "You were just setting it all up." It's like she did say crazy shit. What are you supposed to say? So, yeah, I don't know. I think that being someone like Natalie, in my opinion, has the right strategy. But I guess the thing is, you don't want to be too out there or too smart. Honestly, you can't be too smart because then they'll come for you regardless. So I think being messy but also vocal is a good strategy for a faithful. But when you're a traitor, I think sometimes, like, I do think that that's going to dull people shine a little bit because you don't want to stand out. And if I had been a traitor, I would have been much more quiet because it's just, you're going to get your say on the show anyways, because that's what the show's all about. So you can really have your fun in private interviews and then be less messy. And I think that Lisa is clearly trying to stay kind of under the radar and not, have a desperate housewife meltdown. And that costs us entertainment.
Scally, did we talk enough about Candiace throwing Lisa under the bus before she knew that they were
that was
traitors?
crazy.
I think it's funny because I feel like this happens not irregularly on the Traitors as a franchise. I think that you get someone who just would have otherwise had really good reads if they were a faithful, and so the 5 minutes that they are before they get to meet the other Traitors, they end up accidentally throwing one of them under the bus. So to see Candiace do that was really funny. Obviously they have this like housewife code, so kind of funny to see that she immediately betrays that as well. But you know what, even once Candiace was a traitor, she was throwing other housewives under the bus anyway.
And I think Candiace, Omar, did you catch this line? I don't know how you wouldn't have. I feel like they made a moment out of it when Candiace is defending Portia at the round table. And she says something like, I think she says it's easy to have slips. Like it's easy to have slip ups like Portia's been having. And they do cut and make a sound effect with Rob Roush, like looking at her like, why would you say that? Because nobody else, like Natalie, Tara, they're talking about like, oh, it's really easy to not have this happen because we're faithfuls and there's nothing to think about. But Candiace was like, oh no, it's easy to slip up and say the wrong thing. It's like, well, what are you talking about?
I felt like even she was saying like to slip up, and it like the way she phrased it made it sound more suspicious to me, not less. Like it's like it didn't sound like she was saying like it's easy to say the wrong thing, trip on your words. Like it's easy to like misremember or like to say something that like I don't even remember the exact wording. I wish I had it written down. But the way that she said it didn't sound like she was really defending her all that well, if I'm being honest.
I don't know if she could have done
much.
He
wasn't. Yeah. But I feel like to me it gave like you're just trying to defend your friend. And I feel like you kind of latch on to whatever you can. So I don't know if I would have, and especially because she ended up being a faithful, like doesn't look that bad for her.
What were you doing? Remind me at the round table that Kevin was getting banished. That was your friend.
Yeah. And you know what? Defending a friend that is a traitor, not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, again, remind me, was that like furthering people's suspicion on you going into the rounds where you
it definitely did. But the thing is, I remember sitting there at the round table being like, he's going home. I actually was surprised it was so split. Like the vibe was he's getting a lot of the votes. So, I sat there thinking, you can just shut up, let him go home, and let that be that, or you can try to help your friend out.
Yeah.
And I said,
it worked. It would have been
try to help your friend out. I felt like it would not work, but at least it would be understandable because we were friends, and it would be a decision that I would feel better about than not trying at all. So I said like something. It wasn't that much. It was just like, and also was consistent with what I had been saying before. because people, you're telling people Coco is it was weird that Coco was the only gamer on the faithful side of the chessboard, which was when the Traitors divided them into faithful and traitor-ish people, and that was a setup by Kevin to make her look suspicious in hindsight. But at the time, I'm like, well, that is weird, and you are one of us, so why do you get the all clear from that perspective? And I already had told people that, including her, before the roundtable. So if I all of a sudden like don't say that, then that is weird. So I did say that, and that was pretty much it. But that was enough for people to be like,
yeah.
Boomerang.
Well, on the flip side of that, somebody I want to talk about who had nobody defending them for the most part. Can we talk about Donna Kelsey and the secret traitor twist here? Omar, just thoughts on the twist in general and the fact or how Donna ended up playing into it. Obviously, from a overall perspective, you can just say really quickly, not well, but what were your thoughts watching it all?
Yeah, no, Donna did terribly. But at the same time, I think you can't make old people the traitors.
they're doing it a lot these days.
They're doing it a lot in the UK version, especially.
It's becoming just as obvious as like a gamer being a traitor.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the oldies.
They're just so innocent. Cookie baking, like what?
The UK people, actually, some of it's hit or miss. Some of them have done okay.
Something okay.
Yeah, but I think that the secret traitor twist, I think it's really because they're like really gagging for the audience to be able to also find them, and they've never had that. So in that sense, I kind of like it, and I do like that. I do like them operating at different levels and maybe different having motivations, and then when they get together, would there be a differential loyalty? Like, how would that work? But we never got to see that play out because she kind of like tanked her game before that. So I'm not like completely, what's the vibe check on this twist in general? Because I don't think it's like the best twist in the world. I don't think it's terrible. And I think it's kind of like, I think it's good to try something like that.
I feel like for me, I'm out on it because it's worse on the UK, I will say, first of all, because on the UK version, on the UK version, they have the secret traitor, but the secret traitor knows who the traitors are, and the traitors don't know who the secret traitor is. It goes on for more than 3 episodes, and so the traitors are really just speculating, like, well, who do you think is the secret traitor? Well, before the shortlist even came in, they're discussing, like, well, who do you think's going to be on the shortlist? Who might be the secret traitor? So it like ended up being, instead of the faithfuls speculating about who the traitors are, it was just the traitors speculating about who the secret traitor is. So the faithfuls were completely irrelevant at times. So that became a problem. And then also, I think that something that could change slightly for me is I actually would prefer if the traitors were allowed to make the shortlist and make okay, you know what? Each of us is going to pick someone to end up on the shortlist. We'll come together and pick 3 people, and then they do show up to breakfast, having found out who the secret traitor decided to murder.
I kind of like that.
I think that's more fun. And I think that it's so much power for one singular person to be able to narrow it down immediately to 3. They get to protect so many people in the house. Whereas if the traitors get to, I pick one, you pick one, if they have conflicting interest, then at least we're going to see more of a discussion, more of an argument, potentially more of a variety of people being nominated instead of, only the secret traitor in Donna saying, well, I'm going to nominate all the quiet people. Well, then it's just going to be all the quiet people ending up on the shortlist over and over and over.
I just can't stop thinking about what would have happened if Donna Kelsey got to go up to the turret and meet up with Candace and Lisa and Rob Roush. I think Rob Roush might have kicked the other 2 out of the turret so he could have some alone time with Donna Kelsey.
Whoa.
That's what he sounded like he wanted.
Why also was there no challenge in between? That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
The timing of it didn't make a lot of sense, and I don't know that we've gotten a firm answer as to why
maybe there was one and they edited it out.
I don't know.
Yes, MILF Donna Kelsey. Is she a GILF or a MILF?
You know what? One of her sons does have children.
So she's a GILF.
I think that's your qualifying.
Was it Colton, I think, that worded that so strangely about her? It was like she made 2 like star athletes or whatever. Just it was such a weird way to say that, like, she was their mother.
Wait, also Colton's been a annoying Pilot Pete wannabe, but
incredibly
is not.
annoying.
Is this like a normal thing? Is that his?
Is this normal for Colton to be annoying? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Colton's more annoying now. I think Colton has had a controversy or two since for a while now, since he was on The Bachelor, and I think that this is a very different Colton than we're getting. I am glad he found himself, but I wish that I did not have to find him on my reality television anymore.
I feel like we're going to work our way up, because right now we're working on this Colton and Tiffany feud that's brewing a little bit, or at least like one-sided from Colton to Tiffany. But I feel like at some point, Colton versus Rob Roush could come to a head where like one of them is going to realize, like, either Rob's going to realize that Colton is playing like very aggressively, like traitor hunting, in the same way that like Natalie Anderson could get in trouble. But Colton, I feel like, is being even more like loud about like how proud he is of every single time that he gets some information correct. And I don't know. I just feel like
it's been insufferable. And I will say, I don't even think it's because he's necessarily wrong all the time, because I will say that even though he's wrong about Tiffany, I can see why he thinks that. And I don't think it's like a horrible idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the
insufferable when he's being right. And then also, this also shows that Tiffany's doing too much right now. Like she's trying to tame Trash Bag as if he is like the Philip Shepard to the Boston Rob. He's not worth it. Jam Jam is more valuable to you. So
she's really banking on him being a traitor and just having that protection. That's it. I mean, and if he was, then, he's going to want to keep her around. So like, it would be worthwhile if that was the case. But I feel like, the other half of this alliance that could have been Rob's sister, Nina, was like very clearly aware, as are, I feel like, a couple of other people. This guy's not a traitor. Like, just look at the way he's acting. Like, and I understand he might be this chaotic regardless, but just read the room. Like, there's people that are playing well, playing low, and you're not picking up on if they're a traitor or not. This guy's not a traitor.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a very good read. I also think that even if he is a traitor, he's not reliable. He's so chaotic, and just like that is not someone that I would put my trust in and like waste my time building a relationship with personally. I would not think that the other traitors were particularly taking what he has to say under advisement, even though he's probably going to be pushing very hard. Like, he's one of at least 3, if not 4 people in there. So this is not the person I would be investing my time in.
And I think, to give her the benefit of the doubt, she probably wanted a gamer as a traitor angel, but then when they were starting to get murdered, she's like, okay, well, I can't trust them anymore, but this is not the way to go.
And funny enough, she might actually kind of have one. I think she could ultimately get banished, but as far as being murdered, her and Candace seem like they've been pretty close. They're like locked in arm in arm a couple different times through these first 3 episodes. So I feel like there's something there where Candace may want to keep her around if they are close, but if she just gets banished, then can't really do much about that. Did either of you feel like you got at all when
Candace from Railroad Tribe?
Knock it off. When Alan was picking the traitors, they do go to a commercial break, right, making it seem like he was going to tap Michael Rappaport on the shoulder. Did you get at all?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
For me, his hand was like high up enough where I was like, he's walking past him. He hasn't like slowed down enough. So I don't know if it was just like wishful thinking and not letting myself believe, but I ultimately never really allowed myself to think that that was going to be the case. And Ligorian might have been calling in sick.
Right. For the whole season. Right? I understand. I also feel like something that's been going around the internet for the past couple of days since the episodes dropped is the video or the gif of him and how he eats his food off of
I have seen
plates.
This.
Omar, did you see this at all?
I noticed. No, and I don't.
Yeah. He basically just holds the plate like up to his mouth and then just like shovels the food in the edge of the plate.
Yeah. Are we really surprised?
It was kind of crazy.
No. No.
Kind of crazy. If only that was the craziest thing about him.
Honestly, though, if I had been there, it would have been really hard to not just be like, this is a horrible person and he's unsafe to be here and I'm going to keep voting for him until he goes. And I don't care. I don't give a shit about anything else. And that is just not fun. And some of me, I don't know how much these people actually know about him. I'm sure some of them don't know anything about him. But it's just like a crazy inappropriate thing to do, and I can't believe they did that.
That's the thing, is like, even where I knew many of the long list of disqualifying things for this man, I could not have given you everything. So like, I'm sure that lots of them had just completely no idea. Unfortunately, I think though, Omar, like you said, when the beginning of the game is so heavily just predicated on getting out who you can't work with, like there is no one that is actually going to be able to reliably work with him. So as some
And
people
even,
said
like,
at the round table,
yeah,
like
not even
you're
knowing
impeding conversations.
not even knowing any of that before, you're totally
Oh
right.
yeah,
Like,
100%.
is you like, there's some people where people are like, oh, that faithful is too distracting for us to get anywhere, but never have I seen it more the case than here. You actually cannot talk about what's relevant when he's there.
You can talk about what's relevant, and also if you know, like, okay, yeah, sure, he's begging for a shield, saying he's the person that needs it the most, but realistically, he's never being murdered. They're never, ever, ever going to do the job for the faithful. So you, as the faithful, I think, have to do it so that you can talk, but also so that if a certain number of shields are given out, and like this episode, only 5 people are eligible, imagine it's you, like 2 traitors and him eligible. Like, you're guaranteed murdered. So I need to get him out of here. So at least some actual reasonable person could potentially be a bigger threat than me and be murdered instead.
I don't think we gave Jam Jam enough credit for his comeback to Michael Rappaport singing at him when he says, "Is that what you sing in the turret?" Worked for me.
So funny.
It was good.
What do you even say to like this idiot that's just like singing in your face?
Yeah,
he did his best to bounce back there. But
so mad about the assigned seating having to be so close to the same person over and over.
And I think Tiffany's in between them, so I'd be like, I have to keep Tiffany around just so.
Yeah, imagine like they have to close the gap there. Because do they shake it up at all, or is it generally the same order?
The same
order every time.
I feel like I always remember that and then I forget about it. Well, yeah, then Tiffany's got to stay for that case. What else here? We didn't get a whole lot into Omar Ian's elimination, but anything else on
just sad?
Yeah, very quick nature of Ian's exit.
Mm-hmm. Ian is I really enjoyed Ian on Big Brother. I didn't watch Big Brother 22 to completion because it was so horrible.
Good choice.
But and that was actually a big deal because that's the first time I ever stopped watching Big Brother.
Ooh.
Because it was that bad. But I will say it was sad to see him go so early and not really get to live up to his full potential. He did tell me a funny story, though. He never heard of the Traitors.
Yes.
Until he saw My Sister on Jeopardy, where she was like, on Traitors.
That's really funny.
And then they called him like a few days after that, and he was like, let's go.
Yeah, I know he wasn't a fan because he's been talking about this in his exit press, that he was just like, he got the call and he was like, do I need to? But he realized how many people like are really dying to do the show, and that it must be fun if so many people are wanting to sign up. But that's a funnier, take it a step back, origin story there.
Yeah, and somehow he did better than Dan Giesling.
It's true. I am glad to hear, because I think in listening to like the Sharon Tharp exit interview, he had said, okay, when asked, does this make you less likely to do future opportunities, and he had said like, no, in fact, like, yeah, Big Brother 22 was hell and this was a good experience. So even if it was short, it was good, and maybe we'll see him again somewhere else.
Yeah. And I know none of us want to talk about it, but Omar, just Rob's elimination as well here, the murder in plain sight. That wasn't quite a murder in plain sight, but it was. And just a brutal, really emotional, I guess, episode or whatever for us to all watch. And probably worse for him to live through, but that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's taking it in stride.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, everybody's sad, but nobody's disappointed in him. And he was right about everything. So what are you going to do? And cast the most righteous vote. And now we all hate Rob Roush. So I think that he should be very proud that he should have been on 50. And Traitors corrected that sin. And he should be the Dorlinda for next time. Bring him back.
I love that you're running with the Dorlinda because that
I'll
was
never
one
forget
of the funniest.
That came out.
Yes.
Look, Traitors picking up a bunch of people that should have been on 50, but Omar, I'm curious. If someone had started a conga line on the Traitors Canada, how suspicious would that have been?
So suspicious. I would not have joined that conga line. That's crazy. But also, who does the conga anymore? You know, some of these younger people.
Did we see Donna Kelsey at the front of that line? She was just like holding herself, just like moving to the left and moving to the right. She was so,
so very astute for Rob to figure out who was the one who started that as well, because he was cooking.
Who was the most likely on Traitors Canada to actually start a conga line?
As a trader or as not a trader? Like,
you can give me which of the traders and then who just as a person.
The traders definitely Kevin.
That is very valid.
First instinct was Coco, but Kevin is someone dancing in public all the time. And then as far as just like for non-traderous purposes for fun, I think you would have to go with oh god. I think Kara maybe.
Okay. I can see it.
Yeah.
Can I just say, and again, full spoilers for Traitors Canada finale. I had to rewatch the episode to find out when she got eliminated, because it was just, I mean, it was the murder, right? It was just like so quick.
Yeah.
But I was like watching that entire episode, and I think it was on the same night as like the RHAP game that was happening or whatever else was going on. So I was just like, all of a sudden we got to the end of the game, and I'm like, when did she leave? Did she like walk out? It was just so quick. Do you guys have any better ideas of how you would want to distract an entire house when you're trying to get the murder in plain sight done? Like the conga line is very silly and we're making jokes, but like, what do?
I think it was actually pretty good.
You got to get everybody out of the room. You got to get everyone distracted and doing some kind of activity.
I first thought, should you like fall and make a big scene? But then it always will come back to the person that started it. Yeah. So honestly, I think
should you fall?
Yeah. I think you should just
someone like pushes Donna Kelsey over.
I mean, it's someone tried it on, what was that, like Netflix Secret Millionaire? I covered it, but I don't remember. Someone did try falling to create a distraction, so
that's crazy.
It has
but
been
they
done.
Fall I remember that, but they fell terribly. It was so obvious.
Yes. Really, really bad. I think ultimately I would rather whatever the consequence of not completing the action was than to be the person to start a conga line to fall to whatever. Like, oh, there's going to be no murder. Well, guess what? You have a certain episode order, so I know you're just going to give us like 2 murders next time then. So I'm not really that upset about it. I think the biggest incentive was muting the secret traitor, because that probably does actually have a huge impact for the game. But like, if they want that payoff now, they're going to give it to us a different way anyway.
But what they could have done in this situationally, if you have Trash Bag that's so annoying, then just wind him up. He's a little wind up toy. Get him like fighting with Jam Jam.
That's true. You saw how everybody ran into the room. Yeah. Everybody ran into the kitchen when there was about to be the drama with Candace and Portia. That wasn't actually drama because it was just awkwardly dropped. But Monet, she's like running in there like, oh, we got to watch. We got to see what's about to go down. Tells Lisa Rinna, oh, it's about to get good. And Lisa's like, what? Where? Like, no, right here. Look across the table. It's about to get good.
You know who's a real Karen was Trishelle.
Say more.
I don't know that much about Trishelle other than back in the day, everybody all over the internet and Survivor Sucks and whatnot were like, she's Trashelle, she's terrible, everybody hates her, she's a big villain, but I never watched anything of her content, so I didn't know.
Omar, do we have the project for you to listen to? Check out the Free Agents podcast, pre-agent series, where we're rewatching the challenge, and we've already gotten to, I think, 2 Trishelle seasons, and I think there's still 2 more to go. So we'll fill you in, though. It is quite the ride with her, even in a short time.
Is she Karen or is she not?
Yeah.
I would say that a good number of people would sign off on that.
Yeah.
Like IRL, like, is she?
I think she is a multifaceted person who has made some big mistakes, for sure, that we would not like.
Is she a part of ICE?
I do not think that she has bad politics, to my knowledge.
Okay. She puts her foot in her mouth a lot, is really the biggest.
Bad opinions, but I don't think that she's voting for some of the things that she might not realize that she might believe. I don't know.
Also, it's crazy that they put CT back on TV so many times after I did watch the clip where he almost murdered that person. That was crazy.
Like also coming up soon in the rewatch.
That guy could have died. Like, that is actually crazy.
Welcome to the challenge.
It was a different time. And some of the shit that Camilla and Nani were saying were also crazy. Like, what is going on? Back in the day,
unfortunately, yeah,
quite the show. Okay, well, sorry, let me get us back on track if that's okay. Just on the topic of the conga line and everything, we also didn't spend enough time, Scally, talking about what was it, Candace and Mark Ballas discussing the Skittles that they had just shared. After...
that looked like such a good jar of Skittles.
I was like, that would be great if this was the device, and Mark Ballas just realizing in real time that he just shared Skittles with someone who also just started a conga line, and that's it.
That's really funny. I don't even.
Sorry, that just sparked my interest. If there's then do a bunch of random shit.
And that's what Candace was trying to say. She's like, I'm so random and quirky. Like I do this kind of stuff all the time. No one's gonna think.
To be fair, isn't that what Kevin Jacobs did?
True.
Yeah.
True. Scally, we wanted to ask Omar while we had him here for some predictions as to who is going to be the next murder victim. Of course, we see at the end of the episode that you already have an answer. I see it on your face.
Well, I think that Rob is clearly the one like directing traffic here.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, Rob's best murder is Kristen.
Kristen
Is that
Kish.
her name?
Yes.
Yeah, Kristen Kish.
Well, that's clearly the best murder?
I think so. Because the thing is, as we always said, if you're a man traitor, kill all the women. And he's already killed 2 men, which is going to be an issue for him later on.
Yep.
And you got to keep all the housewives in because that draws attention to them. If only one has been banished and none of them are getting murdered, then the attention's going to go to them.
Yeah.
And they'll be rewarded with the positive IDs when he turns on these people. So then that leaves, I mean, he's going to look like a racist, but Eric and Kristen, but Eric is a man. So.
Okay. I do.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
It's not ideal. Kristen and Eric both on the short list. I think we agree that obviously Lisa is a traitor, Ron catching a lot of heat, Caroline a fellow housewife, all unlikely to be, if not impossible, to be murdered here. So coming down to Kristen and Eric. I definitely agree. I think Kristen is the better pick. I think that for Rob specifically, but I don't know, obviously, Eric's capabilities. Kristen, I just know, even from Top Chef, even from like hosting Top Chef and being a contestant, like I just know how charismatic she is, how smart she is. Like,
Top Chef?
She has replaced Padma as the host of Top Chef. Yeah.
Omar's not caught up in his Top Chef.
Yep.
I don't like Top Chef though. I find it boring compared to Master Chef and yeah. So
a lot of chef shows.
Look, there are lots of chef shows and they appeal to different audiences, which is fine.
Yeah, speaking of CT, currently on Worst Cooks in America.
But with I think the housewives, the 2 of them, like I think Rob should clearly murder Kristen. I think the other 2 should murder either Caroline to like get the housewife sent off.
Ooh.
Or because Caroline, it doesn't seem like she's like a
she's got some good connections with Dorinda, I feel like right now. And so we already like saw Lisa turn on Portia. And yes. Scally and I were saying in our recap, the other day that we feel like it probably doesn't make sense for them to go after Caroline right now. Like you don't want to take away those numbers and have people start to narrow down the focus of, well, again, there wasn't a traitor housewife last season. So if there probably is one this season, and now we're down to 3 options, it's not a great.
Yes, but it could also be the reverse thing of like the bluff, or you could be like Dorlinda got brought back. They're not going to waste her on being a faithful. But I think that if you're going for the double bluff, Caroline makes sense. I always am cautious of the double bluff and would prefer to keep more people in your archetype around, in which case they should kill Eric.
Yeah, that's the thing is, whether it be, oh, there's no gamers in the turret, so now the gamers meta is a thing, or the gender meta. I mean, we have seen at least one international season of the Traitors where they have done all women as Traitors in the turret, so it's possible, but it is much more reliable, I think, to rely on the gender meta, and I think that Rob could really get screwed if he keeps allowing all of the men to be murdered.
Yes.
What do you guys think? I want to keep track of this, Scally, somehow throughout the season, when we remember. I know it's pretty early, but Dancing with the Stars tracker. It's been 2 seasons in a row. Phaedra Parks, Dylan Efron. I mean, unfortunately...
Phaedra was on Dancing with the Stars?
She was 2 seasons ago. She made it like halfway. But I think I have a pretty clear number 1 answer, but I'm curious how it would match up with your guys. It's basically the question is just who is getting who's the star power here, or the growing star power, not who's coming into the show as a star, but who is getting a glowing edit here that they're getting a big reaction where they're kind of just the main characters.
Omar, do you have a pick? Who you think could be Rob? You think Rob? Okay. I could definitely see it, especially if that continues to grow. I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I think Colton is looking like the most likely Dancing with the Stars pick right now.
I've got both of them on my board. I do have Rob as number 1. I have Colton as number 3. I have a wishful hope in number 4 of Maura Higgins, but I'm just that's relying on things. Stop it!
It's never happening.
What do you mean? Why?
Only if she becomes like a traitor.
Yeah, she would have to like destroy this season in order for that to happen.
And she will.
Sure, good luck. And I love her. I'm a bigger fan than you.
Well, you're not being positive, and I am. So I don't know about that. But you did do a preview. My second choice here, because they're not Dancing with the Stars will cast anybody, any age, literally whoever. Donna Kelsey. I mean,
oh, good choice.
Has to be on the list.
Oh.
I could see it.
I don't think that's gonna like pass medical.
They've had older.
They've had older. They've had
spondylosis
less
or something.
Movable people.
I don't even know what you just accused.
I think her vertebrae may be fused, and I don't think her mobility is what a dancer would need.
We didn't say she's going to dance well. She might.
I've never, to be fair, I've never watched the show, but I have met. And met is a loose term. I have met a Dancing with the Stars winner.
Oh, name drop.
Do we get to know?
Bindi Irwin.
Bindi Irwin.
She hosted. She won, right? She hosted.
She did win.
Crocodile.
I didn't even know she was on.
Wait, is this? Wait, you didn't know she was on? Her brother just won. That was the whole story. I
knew he. I don't watch the show.
I know, but you keep track. You know so many things without having watched them. So I'm just.
How are there so many? How are there so many? Seasons of that show. How interesting could it be?
You were on Survivor. It's like, what are we saying?
because there is social scallywag. Social interactions are infinite and nuanced. There's only so many fucking dances you can do. Unlike there's a reason American Idol sucks and nobody watches it anymore.
Well, the fun is watching people that don't know how to dance learn how to dance, and then they get to do really good performances. Or the people that do know how to dance come on and dance.
But that's so repetitive.
Well,
also,
we can talk about this another time.
Wait, should we talk about some people that should have been on this cast?
We can, but also, when did you was this Bindi Irwin interaction like in your most recent trip you just got back from Australia?
Yeah, she hosted the Crocodile show. I didn't meet her. I just watched her do the Crocodile show.
You were in the same breathing
so she knows your name.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right, sorry, but who should have been on the show?
Okay, well, I guess we have to go categorically, right? Like, there's so many different avenues, but I think from the Survivor world, I think they did a good job. I think from the Big Brother world, they did a good job too. But you do have to wonder about. Oh no, they already did that.
If they had more slots, or for next season, who have they missed?
From Survivor, they should do Tyson.
Yes.
Or Kelly Wentworth, I think, are probably the top 2 draft picks of the older era. Of the new, and also obviously Sandy K. Burgin.
Obviously,
definitely. Like she would have done infinitely better than Donna Kelsey.
I
and you
believe
can't
it.
tell me otherwise. And then of the new era, I think that a fun choice for Traitors would be who do we go with here? Who's chaotic?
The most chaotic names I can think of
Shan.
are people that are already on season 50. Not that that's like blocking them from doing
Are they
Trader
though?
season 5.
Shan.
Shan could be good.
Q.
Q would be really good.
Angelina would also be really fun on Traitors.
That's a really good pick. I definitely can see it happening after Survivor 50.
Call me crazy, but like I feel like one of the more likely names is genuinely the Riz God.
I could see it.
I just feel like the hype around that
50.
trio is so high right now. He's about to be on the next season as well. I can see like star power, like we're talking about from Traitors to Dancing with the Stars. I can see the pipeline from Survivor 50 to Traitors. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Q was a really good call. I'm trying to think of other really big characters from the past couple seasons. God, it is a deep well of players who would be good, but
I'm also I think they should also go back to the well of Vanderpump Rules. Why haven't they done that?
Definitely.
And also, why haven't they okay, this is going to I wouldn't want to freely admit I watched this show, but it has been a very good guilty pleasure, I must say, because these people are messy as hell. And if you ever need to feel good about yourself, you watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Why are none of them on this show?
None of them are on this show because they're all in Dancing with the Stars. So you will have to start checking that show out if you want to see some of them on more shows.
Not. But they're messy as hell. Why aren't they on this show?
There are so many shows
cranking out seasons of that show.
There are so many shows that they have not been picking from that I feel like they haven't really expanded the casting pool beyond the shows that were on like season 1, season 2. Every so often we'll get like a random one person, but I think that they have a lot more expanding that they could be doing.
Yeah. I mean, we're sitting here at the beginning of the season talking about, it's going to be a housewife or a gamer. Like there are more categories.
Yeah.
We could very easily get to. But, I think that is why it's something that I've never been concerned about. The idea of like, are they going to run out of names? Like, no, there are so many people from the areas that they are in right now that they could keep going for years and years to come, plus other areas, other shows and whatnot. So I'm not really worried about that. But Omar, anything from these episodes that we haven't touched on? Any of the players that we haven't touched on that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we've talked about everybody that. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing somebody, but I think it's been good. And you know what I would have done if I were there?
What?
I would have gotten the gamers and the housewives together as a voting block because it's a mutually beneficial thing for both.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The closest I guess we could have gotten to that is Candace and Tiffany if they were able to, because again, they seem like they are bonding in some capacity, but not like in the game necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But Robin Dorinda seemed to be friendly. I don't know.
I think Robin Candace seemed to be pretty decent too.
Robin Candace, of course, yes. So that would have been really worthwhile. But I think that one thing that I'm really picking up on this season, as far as the housewives are concerned, is that I can never count on them to work together ever. It's like it's in the nature of that show that on any given season, they turn on each other because that's how the show works. That's how storylines work. And so to expect them to stick together here, like the fact that Lisa already voted for Portia, it's just, that's going to happen. It's
yeah, but she didn't go after her, it was like kind of,
no, but still to add the vote there and the gamers too. It's just like, they all know, like you want to get the other person before they get you. So it's hard to expect that, which is why I think a lot of these under the radar picks are going to go deep into a lot of seasons right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, the borings.
Yeah. Scally, anything else that you wanted to touch on here? Of course, before I let you answer that question, we'll be back for our patron episode on Monday, bonus episode talking all things Trader social media or anything else that comes up along the way that we've missed. But anything else for today?
I guess before we lose Donna Kelsey forever, Ligori, hotter Kelsey brother.
You would think I have an answer ready to go for this.
I'm floored.
I'm just like, so
How do you know what the other one looks like?
Like, I know what they look like, but I don't study them. Honestly, I'll go Jason.
Okay, good choice. We agree.
Thank you. I mean,
are there only 2 of them?
That I know of.
Wouldn't it be shitty to be the brother,
the third Kelsey brother,
or even like this Jason fellow? Like, he's clearly not gonna. What does he even do? Is he a bum?
He's another football player who probably just retired in the Hall of Fame. He's on podcast weekly with Travis, making millions of dollars.
Wait, okay. Wait.
Look, if the Swifties aren't mad at the cast members, maybe they'll be mad at us.
Wait, he's in football? Why have I never heard of him?
That's crazy that you haven't.
Did you hear the part in the episode where Colton was like, she raised 2 like Hall of Fame football players?
Do you think that I'm listening to what Colton has to say?
I don't know.
Wait, that's actually crazy. He's actually not a bum.
I mean, even when you look at like the Hemsworths, like there is a third Hemsworth brother, and he is an actor who is like pretty successful. But like, you're still the third Hemsworth brother.
What's his name? We don't even know.
I mean, the 4th Jonas brothers, pretty famous for being the 4th Jonas brother. That's my world.
I bet you could put this other Hemsworth brother on Claim to Fame and nobody would know.
It's honestly possible, unfortunately. But he's big. He was like in Westworld and a whole bunch of stuff.
I never watched Westworld, nor will I.
Well,
I watched the season. On the topic of Donna Kelsey, my last note that I wanted to actually get to today is I loved her humble brag, where she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a super fan of all of you, and I freak out a little bit, just like at the Super Bowl. I freaked out when I met Paul McCartney." And everyone's like, "Okay, Donna Kelsey," like
that was crazy.
Love that for you. So that's that. That's it with Donna Kelsey on the season here. Maybe
I need to plug in my computer.
Oh, is that what the shaky connection's been for the past half hour?
Oh, has it been? I have not noticed that.
A little bit.
Your video's been choppy, but it's okay. It's our debut on YouTube. It's I don't think anyone has the highest of expectations. So
oh shit, I'm so sorry. I don't know why that is, but it is about to die.
Audio's been fine.
Okay, great.
Well, should we wrap up real quick so that it doesn't die?
Perfect. Homer, what do you got to plug?
Or is it literally going to die right now?
You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and check out Traitors Canada if you didn't watch it. It was a pretty good season.
Perfect.
I agree. Scally?
Obviously myself and Ligori are here talking about the Traitors now twice weekly, doing the challenge rewatch once weekly that was pre-discussed, so go check those out. Otherwise, check out the socials. They'll, I'm sure, be listed in the description of this video, or I don't know, go find me on Twitter and I'll have everything there. Brian_Scally.
Yeah. And this YouTube thing, I would say mostly an experiment for now. See, if we can get a couple of these videos up, especially talking to some fun guests along the way this season. So it would be a big help if you hit that subscribe button just to help this growing channel out over here. No promises, again, as to what the future of video for us would be. I'm not expecting much, but at least here in the Trader season, we'll let you see our pretty faces. So that's going to be it for now. Check me out on the Diary Room podcast every single week, talking Big Brother with Amon. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with our, again, episode recap, and then talking to another great guest about what happens in episodes 4 and 5. 2 more episodes coming up next week of The Traitors. Thank you, Omar, so much for being here with us today. Spotty internet and all. Happy to have you.
Yes.
But that's going to do it for today. We'll be back next time. Until then, take care, and we hope to see you all in the future.